We're going to spend some time on the diamond today, as well as look at what could have been in football and some short stints by coaches last night. Welcome back to sports. I'm Lane Hankins. The U-High Pioneers took to the field last night to square off against conference foes Sacred Heart Griffin. TV 10's Tommy Peters has the story.
A pitcher's duel ensued last night at Duffy Bass Field in a game between the Sacred Heart Griffin Cyclones and the U-High Pioneers. The Griffins jumped to a 3-0 lead in the first, but the bats went silent for the rest of the game. A pair of 3-up, 3-down innings for both squads following the first proved that runs were going to be hard to come by. The Pioneers threatened in the fourth inning with 2 runners in scoring position, but failed to drive them in. 1 run in the sixth for the visitors proved to put the nail in the coffin, as the Cyclones went on to win 4-0.
We just need a little bit more offense up and down the order. And I'm hoping, it's still pretty early in the year. We're still a good baseball team. We've been surviving a little bit of not great hitting days, and it kind of caught up with us today.
It was the Pioneers' first conference loss of the season, as their conference record now sits at 5-1. Despite the loss, there were still some positives that came from the game.
After our pitcher had a tough first inning, he really came out afterwards and did a good job getting into his zone. Our second pitcher came in and shut people down, was very efficient.
U-High's overall record now sits at 6-4 as they host Bloomington High School Thursday at Duffy Bass Field. Reporting for TV 10 News, I'm Tommy Peters.
And like Tommy said, the Pioneers will be visited by Bloomington this afternoon in a non-conference matchup. After a tough skid, the Redbird baseball team looks to be back on track. After a shutout win over Eastern Illinois Tuesday, the Birds kept up their winning ways as they defeated the Iowa Hawkeyes 11-6 in Iowa City last night. ISU was down after 1 inning, but after tacking on 5 runs to the second, third, and fourth, they never looked back. The Redbirds added some assurance by putting up another 5 runs in the ninth before the Hawkeyes attempted an offensive comeback that fell just short. And after 4 canceled or postponed games, the ISU softball team finally got back to action. The Redbirds took a trip south down I-74 to visit in-state rival Illinois last night. ISU took a 1-0 lead in the second inning before the Illini tied it up in the fifth. The two teams were knotted at 1 and looking at potential extra innings. But in the bottom of the ninth, Illinois was able to knock a single into left field that drove in the winning run and ended the game 2-1. And a disappointing end to a promising league. It was expected, but became official last night when the Alliance of American Football notified the 8 teams that the league was folding before the end of their regular season. The aftermath of the failed developmental league shows how unprepared they really were. Former NFL lineman and now former San Diego Fleet radio commentator Rich Ornberger tweeted that players returned to their hotels with their belongings in the hallways and lobbies, teams still owe millions to vendors and venue owners, injured players are left to pay their own medical bills, and team staff were left to clean out offices and locker rooms with no pay. And have you ever wondered what the quickest ejection in NBA history was? Well, it happened last night. San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich was assessed 2 technicals and thus ejected after arguing with officials on a play in which he thought a foul should have been called after Spurs forward LaMarcus Aldridge attempted a shot. Pop lasted just 1 minute and 3 seconds. And in the MLB, umpire Ron Kulpa was not having it when he tossed 2 members of the Houston Astros coaching staff in the second inning of their game against the Texas Rangers. First, hitting coach Alex Cintron, and 1 pitch later, A.J. Hinch. Both were ejected for arguing a pitch in the dirt that was called a strike against the Astros.
Wow, looks like officials are getting really passionate about the sport and getting kicked out early. What's going on?
Yeah, they're probably getting tired of being yelled at for their controversial calls.
Totally understandable. Thanks, Lane. Coming up after the break, we'll take one last look at your weather forecast, and we'll see what's cheering students up at Milner Library. Don't go anywhere. Well, if you can't wait until finals week to see a fuzzy friend, you can look at the Health and Wellness Facebook page for pictures of past Paul's events. So I don't know if you guys realize today, but it's actually National Hugging News Person Day today. And I'm thinking, we're all here together. Why not go one big group hug?
One big group
to
hug is
celebrate the
definitely
occasion,
needed.
right? Awesome.
Well, Nina, do you want to give us a quick weather recap?
Yes, so this weekend we are looking at a cloudy and rainy weekend for that most. We will have thunderstorms on Sunday, so I mean, just make sure to bring those umbrellas.
Awesome, thanks Nina. Well, that's all from us today at TV 10 News. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.